Hello, I'm Vanessa Eccles, your host of the Do Good Challenge. So, who's doing good? Abracadabra. That's actually the name of a local foundation bringing a little magic into the lives of some very deserving young ladies. So, here's the Abracadabra Foundation. So, Asha, thank you for joining us today for the Do Good Challenge.
Thank you for having me.
Before you talk about the foundation, Abracadabra, why that name? Tell me about that first.
So, as we as friends were deciding like what to name it, we were trying to think of the feeling I guess we wanted to convey to the girls on that day, and we really did want them to have, I guess, a bit of a magical experience, and we really wanted them to come in one way and leave another way. So Abracadabra, really, we wanted them to have a transformational experience. So Abracadabra is kind of where we landed when it was all said and done. So transformation.
That sounds perfect. So I know that with Abracadabra Foundation, you really have 4 programs all rolled into one. So tell us about the 4 pillars of the organization.
Okay, so we have the Prom Project, which targets homeless and low-income girls. We give them a Cinderella moment and the gift of prom. Through that program, we hope to lift their demeanor, give them a boost of self-esteem that hopefully they can carry for a lifetime. Then we have the College Tour, which targets sometimes first-generation college students. We want to expose them to something outside of their scenarios, expose them to life outside of what they are used to, and hopefully give them a dream bigger than what they've ever dreamed before, and then also show them how to get there. We have a mentoring retreat, which happens for a weekend, where we have tons of different mentors from different professions that come in, talk to the girls about what they do, show them how to do that. We have mental health counselors that come in and talk about the importance of mental health. We have physical trainers that come in and work out the girls and talk about the importance of being physical. We have a nutritionist come in and talk about how to eat healthy. So the mentoring retreat is just a wonderful weekend where we just really pour into the girls over the course of about 3 days. And then finally we have the scholarship, which any girl who participated in any one of those 3 programs I just described, once they're ready to graduate and they have made it to post-secondary school, whether it's college, trade school, once they're ready to go, we want to then enable them to pursue those dreams that we just kind of said that you can do it. So the scholarship then is available to any girl that participated in one of those 3 programs.
And so how did this get started? Why did you have this idea? Why did you want to do this?
So I really think our story is one of just how really ordinary people can do extraordinary things. We were 3 best friends at the time, myself, my girlfriend Mary Salter, and another girlfriend, Yolanda Taylor. We were just looking for an opportunity to just give back to the community from which we grew up. And at the time we were just thinking, oh, what can we do? We read an article that we found out our community was actually suffering from a homelessness epidemic to an extent. So we thought maybe we can just give away some prom dresses, collect a couple prom dresses from our community and give them away. And from there, what was a small idea really just turned into a community movement. Our community really rallied around that idea, and from there grew a community movement, to say the least, and we saw a greater need. The Prom Project has now celebrated 10 years. We've served over 400 girls now through just that program, and out of that we thought, wow, this is great. We want to give them a little bit more, and we want to spend a little bit more time with them, and then we added on the mentoring retreat. And then from there we thought, wow, we want to get these girls into college. We often say Cinderella doesn't just go to prom, but she goes to college too.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
So we want to get her to prom, but we want to get her to college. And this has really become an effort, not just by 3 girls anymore, but this has become a community effort. So
what kind of impact do you think you've made on the girls?
So I often think of girls right now, what comes to mind, because it's the season where girls are graduating from both high school and college. Ixaria is a young lady who just graduated from high school. She's a foster care girl. She was given to us, or she came to us through a program and she went on the college tour. What is exciting about her is that foster care kids, less than 10% of them after high school go on to college, and she will be cheering for the Florida A&M Rattlers in the fall. And she is just a small example of how exposure ignited something in her, and she thought she could do it. She believed she could, and she did it. And we are just excited to be a part of that story, because she went on the tour and she was exposed to a bunch of women who told her that she could, and then gave her the tools to do so. She took that, a fire was ignited in her, and then she did those things necessary to get it. And to celebrate with her now, 2 years later after that tour, it's just, I mean, impactful. Is, I think, we may change generations after that. I mean, you get one person, now her daughter sees mommy go to school and her daughter goes. So it's the impact, I hope, will be generational.
Let me ask you about one thing that I know you've mentioned before. When you take the college tour, there's a fine dining experience. Yeah. Why is that important? Because people might say, we're just going out to eat, but it's more than that.
Oh, it is fabulous. So a group of ladies in Atlanta each year host our girls once we get to Atlanta on our college tour. In the past, we've gone to Ruth's Chris, Maggiano's. The girls get dressed up, and then they're greeted by 20 to 30 women from a bunch of different professions, lawyers, doctors, psychologists, a bunch of different professions. And they are in a restaurant that many of them have never even thought of it going. So number one, they're exposed to an atmosphere, and then they're also amongst women that often look like them and have stories that are very similar to theirs. Many of those same women grew up in maybe single family households, and now they are in very successful situations. So it's a mirror of where they can be with a little bit of hard work. And then these women often exchange numbers, and these girls are still connected to those women right now, should they choose to, foster those relationships. So it's a wonderful experience that is much more, I think, than your average college tour.
So let's wrap up with talking about how people can take the Do Good Challenge to help you. I call it time, talent, and treasure. So how can they volunteer? How can they donate items? And how can they support you financially?
Wonderful. So in terms of time, each year they have about 4 opportunities to volunteer. So they can volunteer obviously once a year at the Prom Project, and that's our largest opportunity to volunteer. That's the first quarter of every year. So we start to gear up around the end of the year. So they'll start to follow us on our social media pages, and you'll start to see us gear up. And that's also the time where they can begin to start pulling out those cocktail dresses and start to get those old bridesmaid dresses, start to get those prom dresses from your daughters who aren't going to wear it, they're not going to wear them again. Mm-hmm. That's the time of the year that we start to gear up for the Prom Project, and it's a wonderful opportunity to volunteer. We also have a volunteer opportunity for the mentoring retreat. Whether you want to be an official facilitator for that, or you just want to come hang out and hang out with the girls and pour into the girls, that's an opportunity to volunteer. We also have an opportunity in mid-spring, once a year we volunteer alongside a partnering charity called the Amazing Race for Charity each year, because they're one of our huge sponsors every year, where they help us and other charities in the area. So again, follow us. That happens in April. So that's a couple opportunities throughout the year where you can come and volunteer with us. In terms of time,
talent, and treasure.
Talent. So talent, with those volunteer opportunities, if you can do hair, nails, makeup, we do need some specialized volunteering when it does come to the Prom Project. And then if you are a professional in any realm that you would like to share with our girls, obviously, then we would love for you to come out and share that with our girls, because exposure is key. Oftentimes it's hard to dream because you don't know what to dream for. So if you have an opportunity to just share what you do, then they can start to dream about those things. So we'd love to get you in front of our girls. So that is another opportunity for you to share of yourself. And then additionally, treasure. So we have opportunities for you to sponsor a girl for the prom project. We have that only is about $100 to get the girl to prom. We have opportunity for you to sponsor a girl for the college tour, whether it's partial sponsorship or completely get a girl on the tour, and that's about a $500 sponsorship. And then finally, the mentor retreat, you can sponsor a girl for the mentor retreat. That's also about $100 to get a young lady on the mentor retreat. And then always, as much money as we raise, the sky's the limit when it comes to our scholarship fund. The more money we raise, the more girls we can help send to college. So
there you have it.
There you have it.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, are you ready to take the Do Good Challenge? Here's how you can help the Abracadabra Foundation on their website or through social media. I'm your host, Vanessa Eccles. Do good.